Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Manchester United versus Wolves post-match reaction. Manchester United win it 4-3. Now, if you had told me Manchester United would score 4 goals tonight and somehow just about come away with a winner, I absolutely would have believed you, because this is something only Manchester United could do. This is something... Apologies. Don't know why this plans. Sorry, guys, I was running on my phone, as you know. But yes, let's get back to the business. So, Manchester United 4, Wolves 3. Absolutely thrilling match. I don't think I wanted it to be that exciting. I don't think I wanted it to be that interesting. I wanted a nice, simple 2-0 win, and we were certainly on the way to doing that. Look, we started off really well in today's match. I think Rashford, with that goal, made a big statement. I think he would be very, very happy with that goal, and it really set the tone for a very dominant first half performance from Manchester United. We had a lot of opportunities. We should have scored a lot of goals, but we didn't. And ultimately, we were undone by a really, really bad refereeing decision. It was never, ever a penalty kick. Let me quickly run up a poll. But never a penalty kick. Absolute disgrace that was given to give Wolves the opportunity to get back into it. But ultimately, it didn't matter. Look, it was an exciting match. I don't know what was happening. That was one of the craziest matches I've covered in a live stream for a very, very long time. Wolves got back to 2-2. So sorry, it went 3-1. Sorry, Scott McTominay scored a goal. Max Kilman got a 3-2. Neto got a 3-3. The in-game management was absolutely shocking as well. And look, a 3-3, we thought that's it. You know, we're either going to lose this match or we're going to come away with a draw after having dominated for so long in this one. But somehow we managed to wrestle our way back. Somehow we managed to get ourselves back into the lead. And it's only because of a world-class goal by one Kobbie Mainoo, an 18-year-old stepping up once again for this Manchester United side. Once again doing the business for us. And where would we be without Kobbie Mainoo? Now, I think there's a lot of positives we can take from tonight's match, but I also think there's a lot of negatives we can take as well. And some things I'm not happy about. It reminded me of a lot of those matches in the Champions League where in-game management really cost us across the match. I have run the man of the match poll in the comments, guys. That is up there now. That was what I was just typing in there for anyone interesting. Who's the man of the match? I want to talk about Kobbie Mainoo, of course. This is a kid I've been talking about for so long on this channel, and it is kind of a bit of vindication for myself to see how well he is doing for that team out there. Get those thoughts in down below. Vote on the poll. Who is your man of the match, guys? Was it Mainoo? Was it Leitch? Was it Luke Shaw or Højlund? All had very good matches out there tonight. Some good performances, some frustrating performances. I think Bruno Fernandes, very, very frustrating tonight, very involved. And I just think overall he was wasteful in terms of what he offered on the ball. I think he was wasteful in terms of his decision making, and ultimately probably wasn't good enough, all things considered, from Bruno Fernandes. But I do think it's important to note that we came away with the win, and we just about managed to do that. We will react, of course, to all the in-game match analysis, all the comments as well, and we'll go through each of those players out there. Make sure to drop a like on the video if you guys can, and we'll get started just about now, having a look at some of the stuff more in depth. So I guess, where should we start off today's match reaction with? Should we start off with the bad goals? Should we set up with what we could say about the in-game management, or should we talk about Kobbie Mainoo genuinely being a world-class player or having world-class moments? Because I think that's where I want to start talking about. I think that's what I want to look at. I think that's what I want to talk about is Kobbie Mainoo. I want to talk about the positives before we move on to the negatives. Kobbie Mainoo, genuinely, look, I might have got very excited in the watch along stream. You can go back and watch it if you want. Feel free to. But yes, I absolutely got very, very, very excited in that. There's not a lot of players out there that I would take ahead of Kobbie Mainoo. There's not a lot of players I would want to see ahead of Kobbie Mainoo. And there's not a lot of players who I think do as good a job as Kobbie Mainoo. He's been better this season than a lot of those players in that position. You could look at Caicedo, for instance, going for what, 110 million pounds. What does Kobbie Mainoo be worth? Genuinely a special talent, and nothing seems to faze Kobbie Mainoo whatsoever on that football pitch. And I think that's one of the biggest compliments we can say for Kobbie is genuinely everything looks so easy. Everything looks so effortless. Everything looks like he is so composed. He plays like a player who is 28 years old playing his 800th career match, not an 18-year-old making his 8th successive start. That is what Kobbie Mainoo is at this moment in time. He's an 18-year-old kid out there doing the bits week in, week out for Manchester United. You put him in that number 6 role, he does the job. You put him in that number 10 role where he's been forced to occupy in the last couple of matches, he does the job. You put him in his best role with proper people around him to get the most out of him on the pitch, you get one hell of a player there. Because Kobbie Mainoo, as good as he is, as much as we've seen from this kid, we're only scratching the surface with his potential and what he can go on to become in the game, and that is so exciting. I got comments coming in from Niall McCabe. Poor game management from Ten Hag. Overall, much more dangerous. Hoyland scoring again, and Mainoo has it in him to be generational. Coming back from losing the 3-1 lead is a kind of mental resilience you don't normally see from us. It's a game of two halves. It's a game of we are definitely an odd team because the lack of mental resilience and the lack of game management to find ourselves bottling a 2-goal lead in what, like the 80th minute to Wolves, to find ourselves in that position to begin with is one end of the spectrum, and then to manage to go from 3-3 with all of Molyneux against you, booing and cheering Wolves, their players being up for it, their manager being up for it, their attacking changes, to go and find a late winner in the way that we did, with Mainoo dropping a shoulder, brushing off Mario Lemina, a very dominant player, and finding the bottom corner of the net against Jose Sa, who was actually very good in that match, made a lot of good saves. It's a complete Jekyll and Hyde type of football team at this moment in time, and we see some crazy things from this team. We've seen some crazy moments. No doubt the capacity is there, and I think there's lessons we can pick up from tonight's match, and I think there's lessons we can pick up from watching and viewing tonight's match. We can go out there and score goals. We have struggled to score goals all season, but we have the potential to score goals. We have the potential to go out and concede a lot of goals as well. And that for me is a big negative. And that for me is something that I would like to see addressed. And I would like to see us being better in terms of our defensive work, and also being better in terms of what we're doing with the in-game management. I will touch on this. We'll move on to some of the slightly more negative stuff before we run back and have a look at some of the player ratings, who you guys are going for man of the match. But I think when you're looking at it from the point of view that we were 3-2 up, we had the opportunity to keep the ball at their end of the half, and we're taking corner kicks with 3 centre halves in there, half of our team. We left 3 players back to defend that 3-3 goal counter attack. That wasn't good. Lecano is down there, good win. However, we cannot bottle chances like these easily. Onana not good enough. Unfortunately, he is not the man for the team. That is reflected by Kai. Onana should go. Can we sign a petition or something to tell Ten Hag that Onana is as useless as a sack of potatoes in goal? Extreme feelings from the United Philosophy viewers, but I'm very frustrated with Onana. Look, Martinez clear going off the line. Onana also came out from a sea of bodies. Must have been maybe, I don't know, 20 players ahead of me, tried to get the ball, almost cost us a goal. I think he should be doing better with that Kilman one. Look, if you consider penalty as a goalkeeper, there's not too much you can do about it. I think he had to expect Neto going for that near post. He didn't, and that was another poor bit of goalkeeping from him, personally. So I think he's got to shape up, and I think he's got to do better in that sense. Absolutely, I would agree with your guys' comments. I don't think Altay Bayindir really covered himself in glory at the weekend, either against Newport, but I certainly do think that Onana has to step up, and what we've seen from him so far in a Manchester United shirt has not been good enough. There's been good saves, there has been good performances, but not consistently enough. He has had more bad performances or more mistakes, in my opinion, than he has had actual good performances. And that's not good. I think he's definitely leaning on the side of being a negative signing across this season. Let me have a look at our poll for tonight's man of the match. No surprise here, it's all 87% went with Kobbie Mainoo. We have 9% for Hoyland and 4% for Lisandro Martinez. Look, I think Luke Shaw had a really good match. I actually think he was really good. it's one of those unsung performances. I think Mainoo's going to get the headlines for that goal, and some of his moments were absolutely fantastic out there. But I do think he looked a little bit, um, maybe a little bit lost at times in that midfield, and I think that's a Ten Hag issue. It's not a Kobbie Mainoo issue. I love Kobbie Mainoo. I think you have a world class player there at 18 years old, but I think as well he needs to be a little bit deeper. I don't think it makes sense to have Bruno playing behind Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo should be behind Bruno. I think Casemiro had an interesting match. He obviously had an offside goal. He should have scored another one, picked up a very cheap yellow card, and made some important blocks in our half, in our penalty box, but also did give away the penalty. Now, I don't think it was a penalty kick, but Casemiro seems to have a reputation in English football for being a player who does make those kind of fouls. And he also, you never see those fouls overturned. The referees always stick together. It is pretty corrupt if we're being honest with ourselves, but it is what it is. Nothing we can do about it as fans. But look, I think it's an interesting match, all things considered. I'll have a look at some of the post-match press conference comments. I think Kobbie Mainoo's been speaking to the media as well after that match, but very, very excited to see where Kobbie Mainoo does next. And look, that's an exciting way to win a match. It would have been much better for my heart. It would have been much better for my nerves if we went on and just won that match 2 or 3-0. That would have been much better for that there. But what I can say is nothing beats a late winner. Nothing beats a winner in that situation as well. As discussed, Højlund had a good match tonight as well. I thought he was very involved. Had one goal ruled out for offside. Did score another one, and he probably should have scored a goal as well. I think Jose Saab made a very good save, but Højlund should be giving him no chance with that there one. But Højlund says there's no saying with strikers, when you get the first, they keep rolling in. He now has 3 goals in 3 matches, back-to-back goal and assist matches as well in the Premier League. So very, very happy for Rasmus Højlund, and hopefully this run continues. And he's a player who I have stuck up for a lot on this channel, and a player I have stuck up for a lot across the season. I think he's genuinely have a world-class talent in Rasmus Højlund. And I think in Garnacho, I think in Manu, I think in Højlund, you have 3 young players who would be building the future of this football club around their future and getting the most out of them. That's what I would like to see. That's what I think we need to be doing, because I think they're at that level. I think even for Garnacho, it was a quieter match tonight, but still a good performance. And look, I think all things considered, I think one of the only real letdown I have of tonight is Ten Hag's in-game management, which gives me very little confidence about the long-term suitability as him as Manchester United manager. And look, the reason why I say that, I don't want to be negative, but the reason why I say that is because we should not have been considering that 3rd goal. Absolutely not, because we have a corner kick. We have about 5 minutes left on the clock. Why are we putting 7 or 8 men into the penalty box to try score a 4th goal in that scenario? We shouldn't have been looking at it. We shouldn't have been anywhere near that. And that for me is not good enough as well. Look, guys, drop your thoughts in down below. Vote on the man of the match poll if you haven't already. And make sure, hit the like button and subscribe if you guys are new. It would be massively appreciated. And yeah, share some love for the channel, and share some love for that big performance tonight from Manchester United. I'm very happy. Look, I went into this match with a pretty negative view. I was kind of worried about the possibility of Wolves beating us tonight, because they have been good against the bigger teams across most of this season. They beat Chelsea. They gave us a really good game at Old Trafford as well. So I would be thinking that Wolves could be a team that go out and cause us issues tonight. I think we did well to deal with it. Really, if it wasn't for that very cheap penalty kick, I think Wolves kind of just faded away, and we would have probably got a 3rd goal and won the match 3-0. But it is what it is. It made for a more interesting finale to the match. And look, I'm just pretty happy that we've walked out of Molyneux with 3 points today. It wasn't a given. It wasn't guaranteed. It wasn't promised. Nothing ever is in football, but we really made the most. We made ourselves work harder than what we should have as well. But it is what it is, guys. And drop a like on the video. I think we're up to 12 or 13 likes as well. Much appreciated. Let me quickly just double check something. I don't think I've froze, have I? No, I've not. I'm not froze. Happy days. Happy days. So, Manchester United 4, Wolves 3. We have some quotes coming through from Erik Ten Hag on tonight's match. I think he was lucky. I think he got lucky in tonight's match. If we're being honest with ourselves, um, did Eric Ten Hag, and the reason why is that is because it wasn't a given. He should have been controlling the team better. He shouldn't have had so many players going up for a corner kick at the end of the match, and that genuinely almost cost us a big 3 points that he really needs. We do have some quotes coming through from Kobbie Mainoo as well, which is good to see. He says it's a dream come true. I still think I'm dreaming, to be honest. Even playing the Premier League for my boyhood club, it's been nothing but amazing. I'm loving every single moment of it. Kobbie Mainoo, 18-year-old superstar. If it hasn't already sunk into a lot of people, this kid is genuinely a generational talent in that sense. Elvicanio says, I'm fairly happy because we won. I'm concerned that teams like Fulham and West Ham will take advantage of the weakness. What could Ten Hag do to shield Onana until the end of the season? Good question. Very good question. I think Onana causes some of his own issues. I absolutely think he causes some of his own problems out there. But I do think with what Ten Hag can do is to stop leaving us so open to transitions all of the time, be it in regular play, be it at the start of a match or at the end of the match, around the half, around the restart. So many times in this season, be it from a corner kick, a free kick, be it from kick off, be it from a goal kick from the opposition, we have conceded goals. And we seem to always concede goals within the first couple of minutes of the restart of a match. Pretty much anytime the ball goes dead, United seem to switch off and go to sleep, and we get countered on so easily. Counter attack goals have been really, really effective against us, hitting us on the transition. We are very open in the middle of the pitch, so I don't know what Ten Hag is really trying to do in there. I think the way you negate that is to go back to the system we were playing last year, move Kobbie Mainoo further back, where he's in his best position anyway, but Casemiro alongside him, but Bruno Fernandes ahead of that. By doing that, you put Bruno, our best creative player, closer to our best striker and our best goal scorer in Højlund. You have Mainoo in his best position. You put legs around Casemiro, and that gets a lot more out of the midfield than I think we would be getting otherwise. And then you look around at the rest of the team. You would say Rashford, it was good for him to get a goal tonight. Where does he go from here? Does he kick on? Has he learned his lesson? What happens there? I'm not too sure. I think on the right hand side, there's just an abject lack of quality, but I still think we should be giving Amad Diallo an opportunity to play out there. I don't know why Omari Forson's coming on. For anyone who does watch the channel on a regular basis, I'm not the biggest fan of Omari Forson. I think he's a decent player, but I think he's limited. And I think he's a much, much, much better player in Amad Diallo, and that he should be playing. That's just my opinion, but that's what I'm going with anyway. Big ups to the 4 people who have subscribed on tonight's show as well. Make sure to drop a like and hit that sub button if you haven't already, guys. Really appreciate it. But yeah, look, I think in Omari Forson, there's an okay player. He's not better than Anthony Elanga, and we got rid of Elanga. He's not better than Isaac Cantona, and we got rid of him. He's not better in his position than Alvaro Fernandez, for instance. I don't think he's better than, say, Amad Diallo. I don't think he's even better than Anthony, to be honest with you. I wouldn't play Omari Forson if I had the opportunity. I know he's someone who I think Ten Hag looks at and says he can play through the middle, but I think you would be safer putting Amad Diallo there if you're going to be hitting them on the break. But look, I'm fairly happy we won. I would reflect Lacanio's thoughts as well. I think it's good that we came away with the win. The win was the most important thing tonight. In terms of the league table, now it does move us up that league table, which is a welcome relief for all Manchester United fans. We are up to 7th place now. So we play West Ham next, and then we play Aston Villa. Now, if we go out and beat West Ham, we will go up to 38 points, and we'll find ourselves 6th in the league. If we then go out and beat Aston Villa, we would find ourselves up to 5th. So winning the next 2 matches will be absolutely key to what we want to do in this season. Can we do it? I guess we can. Will we do it? I don't have the evidence to show that we've been consistent enough across the league season all year. Look, I can see more people joining in. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel, guys. And drop a like if you can, and get voting for your man of the match. Was it Kobbie Mainoo, Luke Shaw, Højlund, or Lisandro Martinez? I can see Lisandro's getting some votes. I can see Højlund in 2nd place. Most people going with Kobbie Mainoo, the man himself. I have a comment from Kerwin. And Kerwin says Forson has physical attributes that maybe make him better as a Premier League player compared to Anthony or Pellistri. Yes, he is a more physical player. I would agree with that. But I think you had a much more physical player in Anthony Alanga, who's arguably as good as that there in that sense. Paul says the coach bringing defenders on when we need Diallo and Onana. My God, the guy he looks like a blind hippo trying to fly. Yeah, look, Onana didn't cover himself in glory tonight. I I get the coach bringing defenders on. When he brought Evans and Maguire on, it was a 3-2. Which, look, if you're bringing those players on, that makes sense. You want to close up shop. You want to make sure you don't give cheap goals away. But then what do we do anyway? We give cheap goals away. We give a cheap goal away when Max Kilman got that goal. Onana should probably be doing better. Dallo was in there as well. Could have been off the line to try block the shot. And then the third goal, we had a corner kick. After we had 2 corner kicks in a row, and we ended up with 7 players in the penalty box, I counted, with 4 minutes left in the match. When you're already winning, we should have been playing that ball to Scott McTominay, and we could have just kept the ball in the corner, wasted some time, ran down the clock. That's what I would have done. That's what I think we should have done. But bad game management. It's not the only time we've seen this. We've seen it in the Champions League this season against Galatasaray at home. We've seen it against Copenhagen. We've seen it against Bayern Munich. It's a constant theme that's happened throughout this season, and it concerns me because we haven't scored a lot of goals all season. We haven't found ourselves in winning positions often enough this season, and we're kind of being very wasteful with them at times as well. And that is very concerning because we have issues scoring goals, we have issues conceding goals, but when we find ourselves in a winning position, we cannot be letting teams into back into the match. And look, make no mistake about it, this was a brilliant win. I loved watching the show. I loved doing it on the channel here. It was really fun and it was really exciting when Kobbie Mainoo got that goal. Genuinely celebrated like a crazy guy. But I think the problem is that I would reflect upon, that I would bring up, is we should not have been in that position to begin with. If we took our chances, we win that match 2 or 3-0, probably 4-0 as well. If we defend well and manage the game, we come away 3-1 winners, but instead we win 4-3. It's very exciting, but it's not sustainable. So that's what I will go for with that. Kerwin says, Forson helped on the winner with his balance and strength. You're absolutely right about Alanga, but it doesn't matter. He's no longer a Man United player. Yeah, look, I mean, I think we were right to take the offer for Alanga. I didn't complain at the time, and I won't complain now. But I think Omari Forson, yes, he has positive attributes, but I think we just got. It's frustrating when we got better players than bench. I think in Amad Diallo, yes, he lacks the physical nature maybe that Forson brought, and look, Forson did have a hand in the goal. Hoyland says that Kobbie Mainoo is a generational talent. Lisandro Martinez very important to the team as well. And Ten Hag has said, Kobbie Mainoo is a modern midfielder. He is everything a midfielder needs to and must be. It's a massive win for us. First, the positives, we dictate the game for an hour. We should be 4 or 5-0 up. Negatives, we were naive. Positive, we fought back, we won. And I think that's a good way to kind of sum it up. Cameron says we've had issues creating goals. Today we changed that somewhat. It was a much improved performance. Yeah, I think we've scored goals at times this season. Karen would play Ahmad. I think most people will be in agreement with that. But I think we scored goals today. But what I liked is that without the bad refereeing decision for that penalty kick, without the bad game management, and without being naive at times, we did find ourselves in a position for most of that match where we dominated in terms of the possession, we dominated control of the match, and we still looked like we could score a lot of goals. And that's very good because the times we have scored goals this season, we're looking Galatasaray Champions League, looking Copenhagen Champions League, we're looking at Bayern Munich in the Champions League. We didn't have any measure of control over those matches, and it was like we were almost conceding control of the game in order to score goals. But it's good to say that we can do it. I think we got to do it more often. There's enough solid foundations in that team. There's enough positives we can point to in this performance tonight that we should be taking into every match for the rest of the season. The players looked up for it. We looked like we could score more goals if we were more clinical, which is good. I want to see us in that position. You don't want to be in a situation where when you score a goal, it's a worldie. You don't want to be in a situation every time that you're relying on top quality finishing. We missed quite a few chances tonight. We still scored 4 goals. We could have scored more on another night. And I think that's a good position to be in because we're making chances. And should the finishing improve, we'll score more goals. That's good. You know, we should be making 5 or 6 clear cut opportunities. We should be missing 2 or 3. We should be scoring 2 or 3. That's kind of what we should be doing in a match. That's what you want to see. That's what we need to see from Manchester United. And it's just about doing that on a more regular basis. I think that's going to get the most out of this team as well. In terms of this poll, guys, nobody has voted for Luke Shaw. Poor Luke Shaw does not have a vote on the man of the match poll. Maybe I was the only guy rating his performance. Hoyland's got 17%. Lisandro Martinez 10%. Kobbie Mainoo 74%. Any more thoughts, make sure to drop them in down below. Drop a like if you can, and if you also want to help the channel out, please consider hitting the sub button as well. Big ups to the now 5 people who have hit the sub button during tonight's stream, and thanks for 17 likes in the video as well. Much appreciated. And I think we'll go through some of the other quotes coming out. We got Bruno talking about Kobbie Mainoo. Hoyland, of course, impressive performance from him. I'm happy with that. It's another goal. Look, it's a very simple goal for him to score. Could he have scored more? Yes. Whilst admittedly Jose Sam had a really good save against him, it probably should have been Rasmus Hoyland getting that second goal tonight. But he did have one ruled off for offside. He took that really nicely. He linked up well. He got an assist and a goal, which is good to see. And he's still feeding off maybe not enough service. I think tonight's the kind of service level you would want to expect Hoyland to get minimum. That's what you want. I mean, you watch Man City. Haaland scores a lot of goals, but Haaland gets a lot of chances as well, and there will be matches he wins as well. And there will be matches where Haaland will miss, and that's the nature of being a striker at the top of the league. And look, I'm very happy with Hoyland's performance tonight. I'm happy with Mainoo's performance. I think you get more out of him the deeper you play him. He's not a number 6. You're negating some of his best attributes in that role. Stick him in that number 8 role, put Bruno ahead of him, put somebody beside him who can do a lot of the dirty work, and then all of a sudden you have a midfield they're capable of wonderful things. And very, very, very exciting. But exciting times for the club. Exciting to have a good group of young players breaking through, like our Kobbie Mainoos, like our Garnachos, like Hoyland as well. It's good to have players like that coming in. Those are players you build a squad around. You still have some good pros in there at the minute, and I think it's pretty much game done. It's pretty much job done tonight. Let's hope we can go again. Look, the next couple of matches are very interesting for Manchester United. We play West Ham, then we play Aston Villa. I think after that we go away to Luton Town. And then I think after that there we play Fulham as well. Let's see, West Ham, Aston Villa, Luton, Fulham. Then it's the FA Cup 5th round. We go to the Etihad afterwards. We play Everton, Sheffield, Brentford. That's all within the next kind of 10 matches. Big run in April time as well. April will be a massive month for us. Early season defining probably at that point. Chelsea, Liverpool, Bournemouth and Newcastle within the month of April. But exciting times. Exciting times going forward to it. I'm looking forward to covering it all on the channel. I'm going to leave the stream here, guys. Thanks so much for joining in with me anyway. Really appreciate everyone coming out at, 11 o'clock at night. If you guys can, make sure to like and subscribe. Really helps the channel out. And what a result. What a performance. What a match. It was certainly an interesting one. We saw the best of United. We saw the worst of United as well tonight. And definitely a very, very interesting watch for sure. Look, guys, thanks so much for joining in. I will catch everyone in the next one tomorrow. Make sure to join in then, 7 p.m. UK time.